Good afternoon, Larry and Arlene. I am presenting just pitching the cold frame project to you all, as I found it kind of difficult to explain it on the phone at times, because you may or may not have trouble picturing what I'm talking about, which is understandable. Basically, I've spent a lot of time going over different possibilities of how to make this the strongest structure possible. I haven't done something of this caliber before. As you know, I'm just starting out, so I wanted to make sure that it's something that I could stand by 100%. Basically, this is the front view here on the top. You have your fence and the door, with the door right here that swings outwardly towards you as the one who's opening it. Across the top here is our PVC. I managed to find longer lengths of PVC from plumbing supply stores, so it's cheaper and it's going to be a lot more solid that way, rather than having several segments, and it'll also make it a lot easier to take apart. What you have in the ends here, the way it's anchored down, rather than doing the angled bell fitting that I had talked about earlier, we're going to have basically construction rebar sticking up, drilled into the 4x4 posts where there are 4x4 posts, and then in between those spaces just straight into the ground, reinforced with a bracket onto the inside of the fence. Essentially, the PVC fits over the rebar as such, and the rebar will run about a foot into the PVC, at which point it will start to curve towards the other side. Essentially, what you're going to have is the plastic sheeting is always going to be attached to the PVC, and you just essentially unsnap it from either side and roll it up and put it away. Basically, I just found that cutting down the size of the fence only by 6 inches ended up saving probably about $100 between all the different things that are involved with making it just a little bit taller. And 2 feet tall should be able to hold out rabbits and other things like that very easily, and also kind of assist with the problem that Arlene was concerned about, where we wouldn't be getting enough sunlight to the garden, which I personally am not that concerned about, but I think this, may help that a little. I've also found a way to cut down on cost by using scrap wood. So the door is going to be made out of scrap wood, and then the reinforcements that run across the PVC. Basically, here's our PVC arches here, and you have to run, we're going to run 1x2s or 2x2s. I haven't decided which yet, but I have plenty of that in my scrap wood. And it's possible that for the fence even, there's some places where we can use scrap wood and it's just free. I don't charge for that at all if I already have it. So the PVC arch is going to stand roughly about 6 feet tall in the middle, and where it curves down onto the sides, you'll have about 3 to 4 feet up before it starts curving. So that should give you plenty of space to shovel in amendments and work in the bed and things like that. I decided that the bed would be most effective if we just left off the additional 2 feet and just kept it at 30 feet rather than 32 feet lengthwise. 16 feet is perfect widthwise, and we can easily work with that. So the bottom line, the cost of it all. It wasn't quite able to stay the same, the $250 that I had quoted for the materials. However, I'm not going to charge I'm not going to charge the difference on the end of that $500. What I will do, the best I can do though, is I will charge taxes at the end of the $500 on the materials, so the difference in the taxes. As far as the truck rental goes, I had never included that in the materials. The best I could do was the truck rental from Lowe's, which I'm going to estimate at $40 after hearing what I heard from them. For the amount of time I think we are going to need it, it could be a little less, and if it's less, then we'll adjust the price accordingly. Now with plastic sheeting, we have a couple of options. We can go with either the 4mm or the 6mm thickness of the sheeting itself. I found that most people recommend using 6mm simply because it lasts the longest. It's the thickest that they have. It's very durable. You're not going to experience a lot of ripping and tearing. Minor rips and tears aren't going to be a huge deal in this cold frame if they do happen. Just because of the size of it, it's not going to massively affect how the cold frame functions. So the 6mm, the 20-foot by 100-foot roll, ran at $94, and the 4mm roll ran at $77.72. So the bottom line, after all of this, after the plastic, the taxes and everything, if you wanted to go with the 6mm plastic sheeting, the entire cost of the project would be $550. That includes the taxes. The 4mm with taxes would be $525. And then of course the additional truck rental, which is still being confirmed. $40 is the maximum, it could be less. So just get back to me when you can, and we'll figure out where to go from here. I'm available to start as early as this coming Monday, and I'm excited to get going with it, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun.